Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I know I haven't posted in a while, actually in quite a long time, but I'm back now. I'm going to talk about the newest things that I've just learned myself and that I have found interesting, which is Donald Trump making his first moves and putting tariffs on countries. And this may seem at first like a topic that most people shouldn't really care about. Most people don't really need to know, Why not just let the economies take care of it? Why not just let the government take care of this problem? But this is a problem that everyone should take note of because this would affect our daily lives, like inflation, whether you get to buy more groceries or not, whether your rent goes up, whether your earnings goes up, or whether you lose a job or not. So I'm going to talk about it as in a way that I'm also going to share my new knowledge to you guys, and I hope you guys also join me on this journey as well. Now let's get into it. And on my first point, which is the postponed tariff on Mexico and Canada. So Donald Trump has said that he wants to put tariffs on Mexico and Canada. So in context, by the way, I've learned this new thing called tariffs, which what tariffs mean is basically whenever you import something, right? Let's just say you export from Canada to America, the person who exported it, they have to pay extra tax to the US government. Yeah, so Donald Trump has said that he wants to put 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada because of the illegal immigrants and the drugs trafficking. Basically, this is like you're kind of like destroying our country, so we're gonna make your economy harder to deal with, something like that. But in exchange, Canada and Mexico said on the last day before it was the tariffs went through, they said that, you know what, how about I tighten my borders, I make my deliveries more stricter so that illegal immigrants and drugs trafficking would not be so easily bypassed. So Donald Trump took this deal. He was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna delay this. Basically saying this thing is still there. However, if you can keep your promise, which they promised to put like 10,000 soldiers at the borders, make sure to tighten the policies, so that it wouldn't happen again. So Donald Trump's like, yeah, sure, you go ahead and do that. And let's just say if you weren't able to keep this up, you failed to keep your promise, then the tariffs will instantly come back to you. But if you can keep it up, then sure, we'll just let it be as it is. So I guess it's like a tactic in a way. But at the same time, Canada and Mexico is America's friend, I guess you could say. In terms of trading, they actually do a lot between each other. So I don't know about threatening each other, but at least it works, I guess. If he thinks that this is going to help the borders and also less drug trafficking, I guess that's a way to do it. Of course, I'm also very intrigued because it's the first time I heard of tariffs in general, which I've just learned like yesterday. So yeah, that's nice. And now to my second point, which is the real China tariffs and the trade war escalates. So now this is more of the interesting part, I would say, because everyone knows that the biggest global trade war is between China and the US. So Donald Trump has signaled for a while that he wants to put tariffs on China, and now he has. He put 10% tariffs on China, and instead of China backing down and thinking, you know what, man, I don't want to do this. No. They also set tariffs on the US, which they have set 10% on oil and machinery and 15% on gas and coal. So yeah, so they're not backing down. And they took it one step further. I wouldn't say one step further. I mean, they also have to do something of their own to win this trade war, right? So what they did was that they restricted export for critical minerals, meaning China does not want to export critical minerals to US anymore. And that's really bad because if you think about it, in our generation, everything tech is very, very important, and these critical minerals are going to stop some of the tech industries from having faster innovations because they need it, but they will lack the export and of the volume, so that's a problem. But what China has lost is the Google search engine. Even though Google was banned from China in 2010 because, well, basically China has banned a lot of media from the US. But my point is, how would this be in effect to China since they already banned it like in 2010? Well, technically, a lot of their company and branding, I guess you can say online marketing, also relies on Google. A lot of people outside of China found out about China products from Google, and which this would hurt them a lot in a way. So yeah, and what makes it worse is that on the 4th of February, Xi Jinping and Donald Trump were supposed to have a radio call, but this never happened, indicating that both of them does not want to talk to each other to negotiate about anything because they both do not want to back down on what they're doing. So you can just expect this trade war to continue to escalate. And the tariffs is just the start of it. And on my third point, which is the threat of putting tariffs on the European Union. So the tariffs does not end at China. They want to threaten the European Union as well. Well, you can't really say it's threatened because based on Donald Trump's reasoning, he says that the European Union has go over line to take advantage of the US. They're claiming that they get way more imports from the European Union than the Europe actually takes export from the US. So basically, they're saying that the Europe is not making a fair trade here because they're earning much more than the US, if you get what I'm saying. But here's the thing. The European Union is a bloc of 27 countries. So that's a very different story for some countries. Because Europe is not just one country. It has a lot of countries, and some of them do more trades with the US, some of them do less. Like Germany, Italy, Ireland, France, they do more trades with the US, right? So like Germany, they do the most trades with the US. They might be willing to negotiate on these tariffs or doing more trades with the US, like getting even more exports from the US, right? However, there are some other countries who are smaller, which does even lesser business with the US. Like they don't actually export that much based on the charts to the US, as Donald Trump is claiming that they take advantage of them. Then that would be unfair for them to even increase the exports from US and on top of that have tariffs, right? So, it's an interesting situation, I guess. You can really see how Donald Trump's really making a move the moment he gets onto that chair. He's wasting no time. And now to my fourth point, which is why does this matter? The ripple effect in the economy. So today I talk about tariffs, right, and what I've learned from it. But what's more important than knowing what tariffs is? It is what it has as an effect to the economy, which is the entire point of talking about. Well, it has some pretty bad effects. First of all, is inflation. As imports gets more expensive, the retail prices of those things also get more expensive. Naturally would spike inflation, which is bad. Second of all is labor markets. Industries like manufacturing, well, because of how prices have increased, then it will naturally make hiring harder, as because of that, it might cause job loss. And also interest rates and monetary policy. Because as things become more expensive, inflation is a problem that the Federal Reserve have to assess. And because of that, they might have to increase interest rate again. And instead of having inflation go back to their targeted percentage, which is 2% for the Fed, they'll instead go up again. And then interest rate will also go up, which means that the economy is going to become bad again and also become even tighter because they have to tighten monetary policy, means spending will become lesser and everyone would kind of translate into kind of a suffering phase again. And the next one is the stock market, because the buyers of the stock market really hate uncertainties. No matter what, the stock market buyers hate uncertainty the most. It doesn't matter what kind of uncertainty. As long as there's uncertainty, they'll most likely try to diversify, or they will try to find an alternative to keep their money safe, which means that the stock market is going to drop. And the uncertainty is basically the trade war, right? They don't know what's going to happen between the trade war. Trade wars always cause economical uncertainties, which, for example, one day before they postponed the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, the stock market dropped significantly because of the fear of uncertainty. So those are some really bad problems. And also the US has a really bad debt problem as well, which for a country with a huge debt problem, an uncertain economy would be kind of dangerous as well. And on to my fifth point, which is the bigger picture and where is this heading. So as for the Canada and Mexico problem, it seems to be resolved for now. The European Union problem seems to be kind of tricky, but they'll probably be sorted out as well pretty soon. However, for the China and US trade war, the problem seems to be in the midst of it. And in my opinion, the trade war is going to continue to escalate because neither of them are going to back down, and both of them are still a really huge economy in this world. And I don't see a reason for them to back down either way, because one does not show enough dominance to push the other one away. But in a way, it's also lucky, I guess, that instead of having military tension, we have trade war tension. Because I mean, I'm just saying, I would rather have trade war tension than military tension any day. But that's also one way to say it. I mean, see it, I guess. But also at the same time, it is kind of tricky to move forward and also see how we put our money, invest our money. But if there's one thing I've learned today is that this does not just affect the analysis, does not just affect the economists, the government. No, this will affect us and how much we buy something in the store and how much we pay for rent and everything else, including whether some people have a job or not. So it is definitely it's definitely going to be pretty interesting moving on. And I would say money is the only way out of it. So have more money. And now to my conclusion. My conclusion is that I think inflation is definitely a huge factor that could come back in the future. And I think that in the near future, the economy is gonna get pretty uncertain because first of all, Donald Trump has just become president again, and he's making a lot of changes. Not just in the policy inside the US, but also a lot of policies on the economy, which also, he has also mentioned that he wants to open, I forgot what it's called, but it's, US is going to start making their own investments, which in other words means that they're also going to start investing in things like how many other countries does, so they can earn money from investment. Like they will have a portfolio and they'll start investing. So Donald Trump's making all this problem. By the way, if you want me to talk about that in another video, make sure you comment down below. I'll make sure to do it if you guys want. And so there's a lot of interesting things that's gonna pop up, and actually I am interested to see what Donald Trump's gonna do in the US. So yeah, that's the conclusion, and I hope you guys learned something out of this video. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoy making this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.